is my sleepy voice. And you are listening to Night Fictions, Episode 10. Bad News for You, Part 4. You awake, gasping in the breakers, facing out to sea. You're soaked, and you shiver as a cold wind blows in towards the shore. You look around. It's dark, but you can see the lights of the town twinkling in the distance. There are clothes strewn across the sand. Further up the beach, the remains of a large fire smoulder, blackened driftwood lying all around. But wait. What's this? You try to take a step and feel a warming rush coursing through your body. You're drunk. Really drunk. You sway to one side, try to correct, fail, and fall face first into the shallow water. You struggle to your feet again, but at that moment another wave crashes in and you pitch over backwards, briefly submerged. Salt water and sand fill your nose and mouth, and suddenly you're thrashing around in blind panic, trying to get your head above the surface, not sure which way is up. Coughing, you struggle onto your hands and knees, seawater pouring out of your face. You're a mess. Crawling up onto the sand, you try to remember where you've been. The bar, the band, the boat. You shake your head to try to clear it, but it just serves to make you dizzier. Groaning, you sit down by the remnants of the fire and check your pockets. You still have the key to your office, not that it's much use to you now, and your wallet. Digging deeper, you find a plastic coin. It's very crudely made, but seems to depict a stick figure dancing with some kind of octopus in front of a face. Writing embossed around the perimeter informs you that it is worth 1 doubloon. You toss it absent-mindedly into the smouldering fire. Checking one last time, your hand finds a damp piece of paper. You pull it out of your pocket and see that it is an envelope addressed to you. It's soaking wet, so you open it carefully, but the letter inside is still pretty much intact. You immediately recognize the head office logo at the top of the page. An official letter. You haven't had one of these since you started at the company, when they sent you the tape recorder and that questionnaire you never got round to filling in. The words swim around in front of your eyes. You hit yourself on the side of the head and try to focus. The words suddenly become clear. Dear Sir/Madam, we regret to inform you that due to a recent serious incident, which goes against the terms described in your contract, we have no choice but to terminate your employment. Please report to head office as soon as you are able so that we can conduct an exit interview and collect your tape recorder. Please be aware that you have a legal requirement to attend this meeting and return our property, and failure to do so could result in very bad indeed. Don't fall in. Stephanie Barbara, Admiral of HR, Head Office. Fighting a rising wave of nausea, you fold the letter up and put it back in your pocket. You decide to go to the meeting. You don't have anywhere else to be right now. You pull yourself to your feet. The sun is beginning to break over the horizon. You start walking towards town, each step sending pain shooting through your head. Beep, beep, you're on the tug bus. It bounces violently as it hits another pothole. It's a strange mode of transportation, you think. They basically put wheels on a tugboat so it could also go on land. Little thought was put into comfort. Your head hits the window and you grimace in pain. Any movement is agonizing. This bumpy bus ride is some kind of manifestation of hell. You make a silent and insincere vow to never drink again.
Oh dear, lovely. You look like you've seen better days.
You jump. An old lady smiles at you from the seat to your left. You think you can detect a hint of pity. You hadn't even noticed her sitting next to you. What is it with people? Why do they always feel the need to point out your flaws at your lowest points? Oh, hello, you look like shit today. Then they just smile at you. What do they want? Oh, yeah, bit of a late night, that's all.
Well, that's to be expected in the circumstances.
The circumstances? She looks puzzled.
Yes, you know.
She looks over her shoulder, checking if anyone is listening in.
His smiling face. Oh, but you've been through so much, dear, and now this.
But, how do you...
Just tell them the truth, dear. It's the only way.
You put your hands up to your face and rub your eyes. When you take them away, the seat next to you is empty. Shaking your head, you glance out of the window and realize that you're nearly at your stop. The tug bus has long since left the beach behind, and now you're in the warehouse. You pick up your tape recorder and walk down the aisle. The driver sits in his chair, facing the window. He's wearing the regulation admiral's hat in accordance with his contract. Thanks, mate. He turns to you with a wide smile on his face. You look at him for a moment. He stares straight back at you, his face completely fixed in position. Oh, don't fall in. You step off the bus. As the tug bus drives away, you reach into your pocket and pull out the letter from head office to check the address. This is the place, but there's nothing around here that looks like a company headquarters. This looks like a residential street, fairly run down. You see crumbling apartment buildings and a newsagent's shop with half a sign. A shipping container sits on a patch of waste ground next to the shop. There's a door set into one side of it, and you think you can see a light coming from inside. Looks like somebody's home. You check the address again, counting the numbers on the buildings as you pass them. You reach the shipping container. Sure enough, this is it. Number 121, according to the metal sign by the door. Under the sign, someone has painted the words Head Office. You walk up to the container and knock. There is movement inside. Then the door creaks open and a lithe figure steps out. You notice their clothes first. A powder blue pinstripe suit with a yellow tie cut halfway down. They are human, except for their mouth, which is mechanical and confusing. They stare impassively at you. Hello, is this head office? I've got a meeting here. The person makes a series of mechanical clicking sounds and a thin piece of paper spools out of their mouth. When you don't respond, they point to it. Slowly, you reach up and tear off the slip of paper. You turn it over in your hand. It reads, "All's in time that ends in time in a time." You decide that you must have read it wrong and try again, but that is exactly what it says. Sorry, what do you mean? Another slip of paper hangs from their mouth. You tear it off. Fuck knows, mate. They gesture for you to follow them inside. You step inside the shipping container. It has been decorated in a way that suggests a lack of money, care, or both. A large cardboard sign on one wall welcomes you to head office. Another one, just below it, invites you to help yourself to a drink. Underneath the sign is a bucket of stagnant water and a series of mismatched ceramic cups. There are 2 doors in the far wall. One is marked Exit and the other Admin. A rickety metal desk stands in the middle of the room, surrounded by 3 chairs. One of these is occupied by a woman dressed in uncomfortable-looking office clothes. You assume she is called Steph, based on the laminated name badge pinned to her jumper. Her hair is pinned into a baffling nest of curls on top of her head, and she wears a large pair of metal-framed glasses which magnify her eyes slightly, giving the impression that she is in a permanent state of shock. You stand awkwardly for a moment before realizing that she is staring at you.
Oh, hi. Is this head office? I'm supposed to have an interview here?
You see her eyes dart briefly over towards the person in the pinstripe suit. then back at you.
Oh, yes, of course. Please take a seat. I'll be right with you. Would you like some water? Cornflower. Get the gentleman some water.
The person in the suit, Cornflower, dips a teacup into the bucket and sets it down on the desk. Something green is floating in it. Steph walks out through the door marked admin, shutting it behind her. You sit down, the metal chair creaking under you, and pull the envelope from your pocket. Cornflower sits down opposite you, a blank expression on their face.
So, Cornflower, do you know what this is about? The letter said I'm going to lose my job.
The slip of paper hangs from their mouth. Their expression doesn't change. You reach out and tear it off. It doesn't feel any less weird the third time. It reads, I just dipped the cups in the bucket.
Fair enough.
You sit in silence. Cornflower fills 2 more cups with water and sets them down on the table. After what seems like an age, the admin door opens and Steph walks in, carrying a brown folder stuffed with paper. The words, naughty boy, are written on it.
Oh, I don't like that. I resent the term naughty boy.
You say. She looks startled.
Oh, I'm sorry you disagree, but I'm afraid this file has been triple stamped by our verification team, so I dare say you rather have been a naughty boy. The files never lie.
No, it's okay. Look, Steph, I'm a bit confused. What's all this about? The letter said something about gross misconduct, but I haven't done anything.
She raises an eyebrow.
Do you mind if we record this?
It appears to be a rhetorical question. She takes a fresh tape from her pocket, reaches over and pushes it into Cornflower's mechanical mouth. A small light next to their mouth starts to flash orange.
Okay, there we go. So, you said you haven't done anything, but that's not strictly true, is it? You threw quite a lot of company property into the sea.
She looks accusingly at you.
How do you know that?
You were seen throwing a suitcase full of tapes into the harbour. Months of work. Sploosh. Do you mind starting by telling us why you did that?
Well, who saw me?
We have a robust whistleblowing policy here at head office, and I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to disclose the identity of the informant. Suffice to say, we have video evidence. So, I'll ask again, why did you do this?
Okay, whatever. There was this guy, Doug. He was, or at least I thought he was, renting a room at my place. He was unbelievably annoying, terrible at making tea. Sometimes he'd go out of the room and then I'd get a phone call from someone who said that they were the actor who plays Doug, telling me that I had to do stuff or I'd be in danger.
Stuff?
Yeah, nothing bad, just hanging out with Doug mainly, things like that. After a while he got more insistent. He almost seemed scared or something, but he told me that I had to throw away all the tapes, stop looking into the Hunter. He told me it was for my own sake and that I had to do it. I didn't want to. It was so much work, but when I went back to try to reason with him, something happened. I felt like I didn't have a choice anymore.
Steph furrows her brow. She looks across at Cornflower, who remains staring ahead. The light next to their mouth switches from flashing orange to red. She looks back at you.
Well, that's a new one.
A new what?
It's just that the reason you threw all the tapes in the sea sounds an awful lot like the plot of Doug and You.
Doug and You?
Yes, on TV, Doug and You. Now, I'll grant that you look a lot like you, but you're not you. I mean, it's paper thin. The stuff about making bad tea, that was on this week's episode. And anyway, having an annoying housemate isn't really a good reason to destroy company property.
The light next to Cornflower's mouth begins flashing orange again.
No, you don't understand. It was the actor who played Doug. I was falling.
Falling?
Cornflower's light switches to red. You realise this isn't going anywhere. As Steph writes and notes, you look around the room. The bucket of water is full to the brim. Cornflower must have refilled it while you were talking. Quite a lot of water is splashed onto the floor. Steph is looking at you quizzically, her pen poised above her notebook.
Don't worry. Yeah, I did it. I threw it all in the sea. I don't know why. Moment of madness.
Cornflower's mouth light turns green.
I see.
She stares at you, unblinking.
So, what happens now?
Well, as the letter said, we have no choice but to terminate your employment. Especially seeing as you've come here and tried to get out of it like this. You really don't have a leg to stand on. We're going to need your tape recorder back.
You hear a splashing sound. You look across at the bucket on the floor. There's now a sizable puddle underneath it. You point at it.
Is that okay?
Another slip of paper. The bucket's my domain, sweetie. Why don't you try to answer some questions?
Fine. Okay, yeah, have the tape recorder.
You throw it down on the desk.
Anything else you want while we're at it? I've got nowhere to live, no job. Everything I've spent the last few months doing is at the bottom of the sea. What am I supposed to do now?
You hear another splashing sound. Water now pours over the lip of the bucket. You turn to Cornflower.
And look, that's quite a lot of water now.
The note is slightly damp. The ink has run, and you can't make out the words. Cornflower nods at you with a stern look on their face. The implication is more enlightening than the words would have been.
Well, I'm afraid that's for you to work out. We can't ignore the fact that your little stunt has cost us a lot of money and time. We'll have to hire someone else, train them, then they'll have to interview people again. It's a real setback. Besides, we can't keep you here. You can't be trusted.
You feel an unpleasant sensation in your shoes. The water is ankle deep now.
Anyway, I think that's all we need. If you don't have anything else to add, I'll just go and photocopy the notes and print you out your final letter, and then you're free to go.
Anything to add? Well, let's see. You're homeless, jobless, and are currently talking to an annoying HR representative and a mute, tape deck-faced lie detector cup warden. They're both seemingly completely oblivious to the fact that the room is slowly filling with water from a bucket, and neither of them seem to be treating your impending life collapse with the seriousness it deserves.
No, I don't have anything to add.
Okay. Well, wait here, please. I won't be long.
She reaches over and presses a button next to Cornflower's mouth. The light switches off and the tape ejects. She carefully puts it into its case and tucks it inside the folder. She looks at you with just a hint of pity, then walks out through the door marked admin. The water is up to your knees now. Cornflower stands on their chair. You hop up and sit on the desk with your feet on your chair.
Is she going to be long, do you think?
The note reads, "String, mate. String." The water is still rising. You both stand up on the desktop.
Seriously, can you do anything about this? It's not stopping.
The piece of paper hangs from their mouth. As you reach out to tear it off, they suddenly leap from the top of the desk and disappear beneath the water with a splash. You stand on the desk, watching a trail of bubbles float to the surface. After what seems like an age, they emerge, triumphantly holding a teacup. They sit down on the desktop, which is now submerged.
Cool, so did that fix it? The water's still rising, Cornflower.
They turn to face you. It's very hard to get any information from their expression. The light next to their mouth begins to flash blue. It seems almost inviting. You reach up and press the button situated on the opposite side of their mouth.
You need to get out of here now.
You stare at them, taken aback.
Now.
You step off the desk into the now chest-deep water and slosh towards the exit door. As you reach out to open it, you hear a splash behind you. Cornflower has disappeared below the surface. You reach out and open the door to see a corridor that stretches ahead of you much further than the shipping container could possibly reach. Water pours past you from the office, surging ahead. You wait for a moment, but it doesn't stop. You run as fast as you are able in the deepening flood. The corridor turns to the left, revealing another corridor. You continue, starting to swim now as the water reaches neck height. After a while, the corridor turns right, then left again, then continues on, and then turns right again until you finally come to a fire exit closed with a metal push bar. You're treading water now, breathing in the tiny air gap up near the ceiling. In desperation, you dive below the surface and flail at the bar. There is a satisfying click, and the double door swings open. Suddenly, everything is rushing water. You hit the ground and feel wet sand against your face. You're lying on the beach. You're soaked, and you shiver as a cold wind blows in towards the shore. It's dark, but you can see the lights of the town twinkling in the distance. There are clothes strewn across the sand. Further up the beach, the remains of a large fire smoulder, blackened driftwood lying all around. You look behind you to see a large cliff face. The fire door, cornflower, Steph, the shipping container are nowhere to be seen. You sit down by the pile of smoking branches. There's not much warmth in the fire anymore. You hug your chest, still shivering uncontrollably. Better get used to this, I suppose. Doug and him have taken everything. You pick up a stone and throw it as hard as you can into the waves. Far out to sea, you think you can see a light dancing on the horizon. As you watch it, it seems to be getting closer. You stand up, trying to get a better view. After a few minutes, you can make out the shape of a small rowboat bobbing on the waves. There seems to be one person in it, head down, pulling the oars. The light is coming from a lantern affixed to a pole at the stern. As the boat approaches the shore, you can see that the person is wearing a long black coat and a wide-brimmed hat which obscures their face. The boat grinds to a halt on the sand, and they step out into the shallow water. They lift their head. A scruffy-looking man with a big, bushy beard. The hunter smiles at you.
It's time, my friend. You cannot join with that coin.
Looking down into the fire, you see the melted remains of the plastic coin you found in your pocket this morning. You pick it up and hand it to him. He seems amused, pockets it, and then gets back into the boat. Wordlessly, you step in and sit down facing him. He pushes the boat off from the shore and begins to row, heading directly out from the beach. Soon enough, you can barely see the lights of the town anymore. The sea rises and falls slowly. All you can hear is the rhythmic splashing of the oars hitting the water. Where are we going? There is no response. The hunter continues to row. The land has now completely disappeared from view. He stops rowing and pulls the oars inside the boat. You drift on the waves, the boat slowly spinning in a circle as it bobs around. Finally, he looks at you.
Well, this is as far as I can take you, I'm afraid. The rest's up to you.
But why are we out here? How did I get here? The office, the bucket, the corridor.
You're babbling. It's perfectly normal. Look, you need to look at this as kind of a fresh start. Things are going to be different for you from now on. It might take a bit of a adjustment.
I don't understand.
You will.
He looks at you and seems to catch the expression on your face.
Come on. It'll probably be fine. Look.
He gestures towards the horizon. The sun is beginning to break.
It's a new day.
You watch as the sun begins to creep up over the water. You think you can feel it warming you already, even though there is still a cold breeze. Okay, but can you help me? I need somewhere to stay, and you hear a loud splash. Turning around, you see that the boat is empty. A few bubbles break the surface of the water just to one side. The rising sun turns the waves to gold. Once again, you're alone. You grab hold of the oars and pull. You left me alone, alone on the waves. You left me alone, alone on the waves. You left me alone on the waves. You left me alone, alone on the waves, alone on the waves, alone on the waves.
The light spelled my name. I fell all the same. You didn't need to tell me how, 'cause fate has allowed me to take my little trip alone on the waves. Alone on the waves, alone. I woke on the Cape, written on a slipstream back door, an escape. Caught inside a bad dream, no more, it has fade. Arise, it is now, see my chords, it on tape. I don't need a body, it's fine. I rode out to start a new life, but I remember nothing, 'cause the details are faded in time. So when people ask me where I came from, I just have to lie. I fell into a new world because the old one just died. I hope that's alright.
Thank you for listening to Night Fictions Episode 10, Bad News for You, Part 4. Night Fictions is created by Abecasis, Joe Urwin, and Andrew Wieldon-Dennis. Music and composition by Abecasis, with Sally Walker-Taylor as Steph, and Andrew Wieldon-Dennis as the visitor, the narrator, creepy old lady, and the hunter.